After the Lil Boosie concert, Duke the Jeweler's car was found in the parking garage. They went inside to see what was missing and what was still there. To figure out the whole details, watch this whole video, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a like and comment. Let's get right into it. They were told to look out for somebody that had everything dripped out and he was going to be parked alone in this old area. Like, they already seen what Duke looked like from the dice game. And so if he came to the dice game like that, then he's going to have even more stuff with him for the concert, especially because they thinking that the venue is supposed to be like top-notch security and that nobody's going to touch him. Well, when everybody goes back to their parking spots in the garage, that's when you got to be able to look out. That's why you always got to get a good spot. Like, you got to get the one where it ain't too much in the cut or nothing like that. And so you can't have other people directing traffic saying, no, you can't come into the VIP parking. He's part of the whole VIP. And so that's why they cut him off from the VIP, even though he followed the driver. Like, Boosie's driver was basically driving and Duke was behind him. So he should have known to tell him, hey, I got the two cars behind me, that's with me. But for some reason, that's when everything got misconstrued, and it basically, they put up the barrier and the gate down, and they told Duke, to the security walked up to him, he told him to roll his window down. And he said, no, you can't go into this same lot as Boosie. It's not happening. So they said you have to turn around and go through that one and just go all the way around, and you're going to still be by the door, but you're going to be way, way across from Boosie, and then you're going to have to walk a little bit. And so he's like, why? And they said, because they said so. So if they said so, then that means that, basically they was trying to make it so he was over there with nobody around. And so that way the play could be ran. Like, y'all got to understand that everybody was talking about it looked like a setup. Even in the comment section, they said, yeah, it could be a back door. And that's why that you have to watch, especially if you out of town and everything like that, especially when people go out of town and they put their trust, like, oh, they could trust these people they're around just because maybe one guy has some money in the crew or whatever and he got some security, but that don't mean all that is for you. And so they knew that if Duke didn't come with no security and they didn't give him no other ticket or the parking sticker to come in, then it was like the whole thing, basically, everybody is saying that allegedly it looked like backdoor setup because they already had this stuff in line. Like the fact that they staked him out at the dice game and then followed him, and they made sure to pull up in the truck too. So in the camera footage, it looked like two trucks doing burnouts. It looked like some country type of stuff. And so but then when you don't realize is what the dude opens the door, and everything that happens when they turned the truck and literally blocked the view in between Duke's car and their car, and everything happened in between. Then when they skirted off, they just see Duke on the ground. And so that's when they rushed over there, and people rushed, and Boosie in his interview, that's when he told on the promoter and said that the promoter was the first one that got there and seen that. He said Duke is on the ground with there's a guy on the ground with all of his chains on, all of his jewelry on. It's like, why is that the first thing to be dropped as soon as that happens? It should have been, it's a guy there and his bags got taken, somebody fired on him and everything like that. And that's basically where it's like, why would he throw him under the bus and put his name on, in that, if he actually was there that night? Like, everybody was there because the concert just ended and they was all going to that parking garage. So when Duke the Jeweler was going to his car, He walked out that back hallway. He hit that door with the exit sign, and he had all the people to the right, but he took a left towards his car. Because remember, all the Boosie and his people were parked to the right, and they're hanging out over there. But for some reason, they had told Duke that he had to park in a specific area. So he was walking with his bags and walked out that door, and he turned left and he passed the garbage can and the little thing that had the cigarette butts in it. And as he kept walking, he walked at least 20 parking spots before somebody else pulled up. And now Duke's walking to a truck because people saying he pulled up in a truck, right? And so as soon as he's going and he gets far away from the crowd, then that's when a truck pulls up and they jump out. And when they did everything and everything happened, and the people run up, and after firefighters and everybody came, they looked through Duke's car and they're like, yeah, he didn't have anything other than the jewelry that he had on him, basically. And so they purposely left the stuff that he was wearing so that they could take the things that was in the bag and the luggage, because he had the 2 Louis V bags. And y'all know how people and celebrities and everybody, they carry a lot of their high expensive, high ticket items inside their designer bags. Like, that's a trend. Everybody does that, especially when you're a jeweler like that. He gets the custom made bag that is literally meant for his company and his jewelry collection piece. Because you remember, it was that box with all the watches in it, and it was the chains. It had a section for each one of them. That was what's inside the duffel luggage bags. And that one, it had the Louis V print on the outside too. And so all the pawn shops, they're like, no, we not even taking Louis bags right now because of the fact that it could end up some way being tied, or they don't even want it to get mistaken for it being part of the whole Duke 093, the jeweler, and Lil Boosie situation. Because that night at that Lil Boosie concert and Plies was there, that's when Duke was actually showing the jewelry to Boosie and seeing if Boosie wanted to use any of it and rent any of it to go on stage real quick. Like, that's how some jewelers even make their money. Or if he needs to get a piece that's not clean and swap it out for a clean one, that's what Duke is supposed to be there for. But at the end of the day, they know that they wasn't going to buy any of the chains. So they knew he was just a walking like lick, like he was just walking around with all that jewelry, all the cash in his pockets and the cash in the duffel bag. Like, when somebody looked and they seen how expensive his truck was, and the fact that he was walking around with the LV bags, and he even had on like everything, the glasses, the chains on, the watches and the rings, then they were like, whoa, that's when they jumped. They knew that that was Duke. They knew that they had their person, because what I understand is that it's just an revolving door, like ongoing whole thing. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment down below, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one.